Hello and welcome back to See You at USC. I'm your host, Laura Berman, and if you'd like to reach us for any reason, we'd love to hear from you, so feel free. Our number is 213-743-2741, or you can check us out on the web 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.trojanvision.com. Today I'm here with Mike Dooley, author and speaker, and we've been talking about his Notes from the Universe, which you just saw one. It was right up there on the screen, so it was saying something to the effect of, from the universe's point of view, my favorite thing about being the universe is XYZ. What's your favorite thing about being the universe? Can you explain this to us a little bit?
Well, this is an example of some of the truths that I want to remind people of when they open their email so that the walls don't come closing in. And it is my view that, as I said, we are the eyes and the ears of the universe, and that's so easy to forget.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to feel like a victim, or we tend to feel like life is happening to us instead of us happening to life. The truth of the matter is we came first. Life is here at our behest, and that we do indeed, through this principle, have dominion over all things.
Interesting. So how do you come up with these ideas? I mean, a new note every day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. Where do these ideas come from? What's your process?
It's a fun process, actually, because it's actually a metaphor for what I most teach when it comes to wanting to manifest change in one's life, or manifest a new relationship, or fulfilling work, or wealth and abundance. Whenever you want to manifest a change, I advocate, number one, you clearly define in every detail possible the end result. What's this dream coming to pass going to be like, and what are the consequences of this dream? Not messing with the cursed house. The house, the domain of the universe. So this is
when you say that, you mean like how it's going to happen.
How it's going to happen. It's not about you knowing so-and-so who knows so-and-so, and this way I'm going to get the interview or the contract or the deal. It's like, no, the end result would be the contract signed. You don't have to figure out the process in between. What we do have to do, step two after defining the end result, is move in the general direction of our dreams. Lightheartedly, not carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, not thinking, I got to make this happen because I'm a being of light and my thoughts become things and I know it's possible. That will sink your ship before it leaves dock. So define the end result and then move in its general direction. This movement will enable the universe to then reach us, putting in our path the so-called accidents, coincidences, and serendipities of our life that will yield the connection or the breakthrough or the epiphany or the great idea. And so when it comes to writing the notes from the universe, I follow this little sequence. I define the end result, the consequences of this manifestation coming to bear. And the consequence for me is joy. It's that feeling. I know what it feels like to have written something that just thrills me inside. And I'm just like, woohoo, I love this job. And so I sit down for like a little 1 minute visualization, and I'm just like, for 1 minute only, the end result. I don't think about what I'm going to write about or how I'm going to say it or the stages of the message. I just think about the end result or beyond. And that is that feeling of satisfaction, of completion, of a brand new creation being born. And after I clearly define the end result, I feel the emotion of the end result, I then move in the general direction of my dream. And what would that be as a writer? It would be typing or putting pen to paper. And I don't carry the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I don't think, now, how am I going to achieve a Yahoo feeling right now? I just think, just go with the intuition, with the feelings, and just sometimes it's the very first words that come to mind that I start out with that get me going, and they'll be replaced or they'll be used. And in that particular note that we just saw, I started out, one of the greatest things about being the universe is being eternal, knowing all things, being loved and loved, et cetera, and I had no idea where the ending point would come, what would be the twist or how I would make it apply to people. But again, you don't have to know the hows. The hows are the domain of the universe. As I kept moving forward, kept on writing, that's demonstrating faith and belief that this is going to work out. And then, bingo, the idea is infused. Where does any good idea come from after all? It's not us. It's the universe responding to the vision that we had. And so that one's little twist was, how about you? What's your favorite thing about being the universe? Which is as true as truth can get, and it reminds people of their place in reality.
Right. Wow. I love that one in particular. Now, one of the best ways, and you just mentioned some examples of how you use this process in your own life, but for some of us who are, maybe we have these gigantic dreams, these gigantic ambitions. I always think the proof is in the pudding, like, show me how it's worked, Mike, give me an example. Can you share any with me?
It was funny, while I was in college 20-odd years ago, 25 years ago, I was finding truth, and I was euphoric, and I was like, thinking, now I've discovered truth, because it's been written about throughout the millenniums. I used to think that euphoria would change my life. I wasn't applying it. And it wasn't until I joined the real world, I was working for Price Waterhouse as an auditor and doing miserably. One bad evaluation after another, that I thought, what have you been thinking, and how can we change this, and start visualizing. And so immediately from that point forward, I started to see myself walking up and down the hallways of Price Waterhouse just beaming with joy. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to be a good auditor, or I would have been one. So I thought, well, what's the end result? Joy at work. And I did that, and literally within weeks, the human resource person called. My heart was pounding, and he said, Mike, the tax department's shorthanded, and the audit department wouldn't mind loaning you to the tax department. We're going to temporarily loan you to the tax department. And I thought this was doomsday. I was terrified of tax. I wasn't trained in tax. But immediately, they took to me. The tax department loved me. I loved being in the tax department. And my career took off, which led me to think, if this stuff works when you're using it as fear, and you're using it to survive, well, let's knock it up a notch and learn how to thrive. So I created a little scrapbook, and I put pictures in this scrapbook to help me visualize of things that I wanted in my life, pictures from magazines, and places that one day I'd like to travel: London, Paris, Hong Kong, Tokyo. This is a little Mike Dooley in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hadn't seen much of the world. I thought maybe, if this stuff works, I wasn't totally, sure that I could thrive. Was I willing, ready, worthy, etc.? But I thought, let me try. Maybe in a couple of decades, I'll be an international jet setter. A year later, I was living in the sunny capital of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, which to many doesn't sound like a dream come true. But from there, I went to every city and country on God's green earth that I had ever dreamed of going. And my heart nearly skipped a beat one morning having breakfast at the Regent Hotel in Kowloon, Hong Kong, looking up from over my coffee through the 2-story plate glass windows surrounding me, and saw the exact same view of Hong Kong Island that I had cut and pasted into my little scrapbook just 2 years earlier, living in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Wow.
And from there, relationships, health, career, abundance. I've used it at Price Waterhouse. I used it as an entrepreneur. I use it as a writer. It's the end-all and be-all of thriving in the jungles of time and space.
You make it sound so easy.
It couldn't be easier, and that's what sets people off. It's like, oh, it can't be that easy. I've got real-world problems, and you want me to think happy thoughts. It's like, yeah, that's the whole thing. Feel the gratitude, feel the joy, the end result. And then the winds of the universe start filling our sails, and there's a coincidence or a serendipity, and everything changes.
It's such a great message. So empowering, so exciting. We've got a lot more to talk about, so keep it here for more See You at USC, the best college talk show on television.